It's the J.R. Joker Show with featured performer J.R. Joker. Not appearing on tonight's show, actress Sharon Stone, the two late-night Jimmys, Fallon and Kimmel, in a gladiatorial combat to the death. Also not appearing, special guest stars Barack and Michelle Obama. And now, here's the featured performer of the J.R. Joker Show, J.R. Joker. Well, howdy there. Welcome to another J.R. Joker Show episode. Just before the show, I got this phone call, which I rejected because, well, besides doing a show, I never accept calls from a hobbit. And you should never accept calls from a hobbit. You accept a call from a hobbit. You speak to a hobbit for 5 seconds, and the next thing you know, you are fleeing a fire-breathing Balrog. Not just any kind of a Balrog, a fire-breathing Balrog. How do I know it's a hobbit if I don't talk to him? Who else would have a name like Sam Likely? Sam Likely. It's a likely hobbit name if I ever heard one. Sam Likely, obviously a hobbit. And he misspells his first name, which is the dead giveaway. Hobbits, I don't know if you know this or not, they are terrible spellers. Oh, and their grammar, their punctuation, everything about their writing is terrible. I saw an attempt of theirs to write a constitution. They were like, we the people. They wrote we, O-U-I. And then open parentheses, the people, they capitalized people, didn't close the parentheses in order to form a more perfect shire. They didn't capitalize shire. I can go on, but I mean, just basically, you know. So, never accept a call from a shire. And anyway, I wanted to get that out of the way. While I have the phone in my hand, what a wonderful segue. It's my new cell phone. My last one I couldn't text on, so I got rid of it. Not too many steam-powered cell phones could text. Anyway, but now I love it. You know, somebody texts me, you know, like LOL, laugh out loud, OMW, on my way. I love all this stuff. I love it so much I even made up some of my own. Somebody asked me a favor, and like, oh, Jeff, can you do me a favor? And I'm like, well, NP. No problem. And they know me. They don't. So, and then they might write me back. Gee, are you sure it's not in position? I'll write back. Whip, nip, whip, WP with pleasure. You know. And then they might write me back again and say like, gee, are you sure we're not putting you out? And then I write back another one. I'm all prepared for it. It's to go get a humidity, which means, I swear to God, if you bother me one more time, I'm going to kill your dog. A lot of people ask me, JR, how'd you get looking so old? Was it drugs? No, alcohol. You just smoke 3 packs a day? Don't smoke, don't take drugs, didn't drink. Well, then how'd you get to look that way, so old? Okay, I'm going to come clean. It was breathing. You take your first breath. I want to warn you right now. Wish somebody would have warned me. And you hooked. I took that first mouthful of oxygen. Had to have another. And another. Never enough. I got hooked. Big O, oxygen. And little did I know that the Big O was a gateway element. And before you know it, I was all over the periodic table. You know, doing nitrogen and hydrogen. Oh, what a cocktail. Hydrogen with oxygen is just let it wash over you. It's just great, you know. But, you know, so I'm going to warn you. You take too many breaths, eventually, this is what happens. So you've been warned. Okay, so a lot of people that look like me are from a group of people, a generation called the baby boomers, hashtag disgusting old people. Right. Our parents were the great generation that beat Hitler, and having beat Hitler, they had time on their hands, so they invented fast food. And we are the first generation of brats brought up on takeout. McDonald's and myriad competitors, all selling ersatz nourishment and empty calories that sabotage our metabolism and hasten our organism's deterioration to the point that our atrophied intestines can barely assimilate or digest a raisinette. You know, so one day the doctor says to you, mine just said it to me, he said, JR, bye-bye bagels, hola oatmeal. Yeah, great, So now I'm on oatmeal, which is good because I always wondered, well, what does cardboard actually taste like? Now I know. Although, to be fair, it does have a slight little styrofoam aftertaste. Now you bring me food in a cardboard box. I don't even have to open it. I just I just eat my way in. Cardboard's the first course. So anyway, I want to warn you about the breathing. It can be pretty serious stuff. I go to the doctor more frequently now than I used to, just because I have like great insurance. As a matter of fact, they treat me like a VIP at the doctor, a very insured patient. And anything I want, Oh, JR is coming in, doctor, for a physical. JR, oh, he's got great insurance. Let's take out a kidney. But we don't need to take out a kidney. Well, I need to make a payment on my boat, so I'm taking out a kidney. So, but seriously, my doctor is a pretty good guy. Last week he said something I'll never forget. Clear! One thing that you get new hobbies and full-time employment when you're old. Your hobby, your main hobby is urination. Yeah, you urinate a lot. When I was young, I was looking for a woman I could depend on. Now I look for a woman who could put my depends on. But there's something that even takes up more of your time, and that's COVIDs. I don't mean COVID-19. I mean COVIDs. That's KOBIDS. And I've had it for long before, since I found out about this terrible pandemic, which I don't want to use as an element of some routine. No, it's a serious, terrible thing, but I just want to differentiate. COBIDS stands for knock over, bump into, drop, and spill everything. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. That's coming. That is coming down the road. That is going to happen to you. Knock over, bump into, spill, and drop everything. Drop and spill everything. Yeah, and which leads your family to get cute nicknames for you, which they start off with the classic Butterfingers. It evolves into more contemporary jargon like Spaz Daddy and such. So you're into that pretty much full time. And the doctors tell you all about that. Doctors used to be a mystery. When I was a kid, everything was very mysterious. They didn't tell you anything. They didn't want to share that hard-earned education they have. It sets them apart. Why should they tell you everything? You're not paying. But over the last few decades, it's obvious that doctors want to talk to you like you're a Goomba, you're a compadre, paisan. They talk medicine to you like you know what they're talking about. And you just look at them and go, yeah, sure, great, you can't get a second opinion because you don't even know what the first opinion is. So the doctor sat me down a couple months ago, and he was just chatting with me, and he says, JR, I think that you could benefit from ventricular tachycardia ablation to potentially obviate cardiac fibrillation. Now, I can't even figure out why M&Ms melt in my mouth and not in my hand. So, I don't think I'm ready to cram for my med school midterm with this guy. It's just way out of hand. I got a full plate. So, things are going to happen. You should be prepared for it. But just remember one thing I'll leave you with. You're not your body. This thing, this thing, this thing that's talking to you now is the body, and you're really not the body, so you really aren't growing old. Young, old, it doesn't matter. We're actually all eternal. I know that this isn't funny, but I figure, what's the point? Everything's got to have a point. Even a comedy routine should have a point. So if it leads to me telling you that, don't worry, you're not your body, but the soul inside, and you're eternal, then, okay, it's worth losing a few fans. So I'll see you on the next episode. We're going to have a rollicking good time, I promise. So let me music out here. Take it easy.